Hi, Rob Harris. I am the product manager and artist relations manager for Furman, and we're here celebrating the 50th anniversary of Furman, this wonderful brand that builds many great products that's used throughout our industry, throughout many artists, as well as recording studios, and everybody you can think of that needs to have clean power. What we're going to do right now is we're going to show you by measuring the incoming noise for electromagnetic interference and radio frequency interference, better known as EMI or RFI or transverse mode noise. We're going to measure the voltage the noise coming from the actual trade show power right now. And what this little guy does is it gives you a numeric value showing you about 130 millivolts of noise, and it gives you an audible representation of that as well. And so that's just the noise coming out of the wall. And now we're going to show you if you plug into just our simple Merit Series entry-level power conditioner, we're going to take that 130 and drop it down to about 20 altogether. And that's, get 80% in reduction. And you'll hear a bit of a representation, but it's really, there's nothing there for the most part that you're going to be able to hear. And then if we run through and go through different levels of conditioners here, you're going to see that noise floor drop more to about a 5. And this is going to be about the same, basically, about 5, 6. Now, I'm going to show you a real world scenario. So say you were a guitar player and you went in to sound check, you had all your equipment plugged into our lovely Merit Series here. All your equipment sounded great, clean, clear, crisp. And you go to change clothes, you get ready to play the gig, and all of a sudden, the bar you're playing in decides to open up and actually turn on lights. Let's turn on the hand dryers in the bathroom. Let's turn on the kegerators, all that good stuff. And now you've turned that 100 something volts or millivolts into about 1,000. And I'm sure you'll be able to hear that very well over the microphone. Now, we have our entry-level power conditioner, the Merit Series, and it's going to do a good job, but there's only so much it could do with the circuit design that's there. So it takes that 1,000 and turns it to about 600. So it's only reducing the noise floor about 40%. And that's because it's a simple style filtration. It's not comprehensive. Now, when we move over to our Classic Series with the lift filtration design, that design is much more comprehensive. We're able to knock down that noise floor down to about 60. Now, if you guys remember, there was like 6 to 7 volt or millivolts that were in there. When you go over to the P1800 PFR and you go into Prestige Series, that drops it right back to where you originally saw it before. So this is the differences in filtration properties within our Furman line, and that shows you what choices you have when you're picking your product. So Furman it was started in 1974 and somewhere in the midpoint of 74, and we're now in January of 75, so it's really been 50 years. But where the 50th anniversary really comes into play is the very first product that was ever shipped was our PQ3. And unfortunately, it's not on the screen at the moment, but it's in the slide, and you can pull that picture later if you want. That started it all. Basically, that product is a wonderful signal processing parametric EQ that you could fine-tune a ton of different frequencies from the low range to the mid-range to the high-range bandwidths and notch into what frequencies you want and boost or buck that frequency. It's great at shaping all kinds of sound. Still a fun toy to this day. I own one. They're sought after throughout a lot of forums and whatnot. And that's what really started it all. Then we moved into crossovers. We had headphone distribution centers. And in about 1985, we went into power. Somebody said, you know what would be great? Is if we could, instead of trying to bring out all these power cords and plug them into a box outside of the rack, what if we could plug it all into the rack in itself? And somebody else said, you know what? That would be great. The other thing would be cool is what if it had lights and you could see everything illuminated from the top down? And so what came into play was the Furman PL8, and that literally, the slogan for that was top it off with a Furman. Literally, put it at the top, and then you'd be protecting everything in the rack, filtering out the noise, and then you had a wonderful way to illuminate the front side of the rack. And from there, we ran with the ball, and that was 40 years ago. Here we are, 50 years of doing this. I've been with the company for 23 years. I've been everything from manufacturing to the head of tech support for 12 years, sales and technical trainer, and now I'm the product manager for Furman. And I've always been involved in product management anyway, and product creating new solutions. So that's us in a nutshell. Thanks for listening, kids.